Hello, thank you for joining me today for a fifth line day. We are in gate 27 still, the gate of caring, and we have the executor, that is gate 27, line 5. So the fifth line, the executor is someone who can look after things, who can be responsible for them. In England, at least, I'm not sure about anywhere else, but we have we appoint an executor when we write our will, and they are the person who takes care of distributing our resources or whatever it is we've got. They manage our estate when we pass on. The lifetime learning here is the ability to distribute effectively the resources of others. What society wants from caring is not selfishness, the selfishness that we find in that first line. The selfishness of I'm only going to care for myself. I'm going to dig into what caring actually means. But they want someone who's going to care for them and for their resources. In the exaltation, we have either the gifted and principled agent of distribution or the good sense and ability to find one, the power and strength to care for the resources of others. So these are the people that we want to be able to trust in a professional capacity. You know, the word trust is a word that lives in this channel of preservation, which is where the 27 meets the 50. In the detriment, we find a restrictive nature that hampers distribution or the seeking of advice and assistance. Weakness and the risk of loss of power restrict caring. There is a theme of abundance in this gate. You know, we've come across this again and again. Caring is based on being able to have enough resources. And so it follows that gate 27 can be weak if it does not have the necessary resources. You know, put another way, if one is physically exhausted, our energy being our most precious resource, then one can no longer properly care for another. Health, we could say, is the sort of the first resource that the 27th gate is looking for. It knows that if it can't look after its own health, then it isn't going to be able to look after anybody else. The fifth line here is called on in times of crisis when resources are at risk, in order to make sure that there is enough, that they remain available and accessible and can be distributed effectively. The fifth line may be able to deliver physical resources or advise on the distribution of resources, but they must be called out first, because it's always there that their power lies. The world will project onto this fifth line that they care, that they are a caring person. And of course they may be, or they may not be. You know, it's just a projection after all. But if you pretend that you care, but you don't really care, or you don't have the resources within yourself to care, then your reputation can be at risk. And then you can lose your power. So very appropriately, we find the grounding of this fifth line in the 28, line 5, called treachery. And we have the lifetime learning of the abuse of trust. 28s, they really want to see life as of value. You know, we've been learning that all the way through this journey through the 27 and the 28. They are always ready to seek out what is of value. And remember that the fifth line, it can be the seducer as well as the seduced. It can play both ways. And it's a line of projection after all. They can easily lead or be led into treachery. Usually the grounding seems to support the sun in a kind of positive way, but perhaps here we have the binary, we have the or not of that. We have treachery supporting an executor who is only pretending to care, but actually what they want to care for is someone else's finances in order to cream off a healthy percentage. It's possible, it happens after all. So the moon is currently in gate 43, as we looked at yesterday. It moves into gate 14 at 16:05 and then gate 34 at 2:51 tomorrow morning. And these are two gates that are all about power. Gate 14 is the gate of power skills. It's the accumulation and retention of power through skilled interaction, coupling grace with control. This is a deeply material gate, actually. It supplies the entire energy for the material way. It's about having access to resources and material wealth, and the power and the skill to distribute and direct resources in a way that supports humanity's need for change, humanity's need for mutation, in order that we can survive as a species. This is about having the power to follow one's unique direction in life, which may be seen as a selfish act, but ultimately benefits the direction of the whole. This gate 14 is perfect for the themes that we've been looking at in gate 27 and gate 28 this last week. Gate 34 is a gate of power, another sacral gate, power and empowerment. This is a source of a pure kind of vital energy that in this generator gate emerges best through response. Through response, it can be a force that empowers the expression of uniqueness. It's a gate that likes to be busy. It likes to be busy for itself, usually, doing something that it loves, which then in turn, of course, can empower other people, by example, to do what they love. Or not. Sixth line day tomorrow. Please join me for that. And thank you for watching, and go gently.